Howdy, howdy folks, welcome back. It's a lovely Saturday evening. I guess it's technically Sunday morning at this point. But we are going to be reloading some 300 Blackout today. Got the Dylan sort of set up in a single stage turret mode. We got some Eggleston 220 grain projectiles. And we got mixed brass. I'm going to let you guys pick the primer, and we're going to use either VV N110 or IMR 4227. See if this guy's working here. All right. So yeah, like I said, rainy Saturday evening, Sunday morning kind of thing. Just chilling inside, been doing some chores around the house and all that. But we've got our brass here, all prepped and ready to go already. I think I've got 100 projectiles there. I'm gonna keep one of them as a dummy round, just to keep in the collection of fun little toys there. Let me see if I can pull the chat up over here on the laptop so I can see what y'all's are saying, because I'm actually streaming from the desktop way back yonder way. Well, here we go. Make sure to hit that like button there, and that way it'll let everybody know that's sleeping that I'm live, and that way, if they're not asleep, they can come hang out with us. How neat is that, right? Probably don't need this guy. You never know. We might. So yeah, I was looking at some load data, and I've got these 220 grain projectiles. And here we have some Sierra data, and they list several powders. We've got N110, H110, as well as 296, which is the same thing. They have 4227, 1680. I don't know if that's CFE Blackout, or no, I guess it's CFE Black. That must be Shooter's World Blackout. That right there is CFE Black. Reloader 7, IMR 4198, and Hodgson 4198. Out of these, I got a few we can try, but today I want to be looking at an extruded powder. Why are we doing that? Because I want to use the Charge Master, and I don't want little balls jumping out of my pan, so little sticks work better for that. You know what I'm saying? Anybody else experience that at all? Where's the old show chat? There it is. So yeah, Sierra, I like how they list a hunting load, which is usually the highest energy foot-pounds they list. And they list an accuracy load, which is their most accurate load that they found whilst testing. And it just so happens that IMR 4227 is the accuracy load. But we'll note it's at 1300 feet per second, which ends up giving 788 foot-pounds of energy. I'm not worried about the energy really. This is not a hunting load for me. This is just planking out in the backyard. But notice it's at 1300 feet per second. That's not subsonic. And that's usually what people with heavy 200 plus grain projectiles are doing with the 300 Blackout. We following me here? But the thing is, I don't have a can. I do not have a suppressor. I don't have a whisper pickle, whatever the kids are calling it these days. No stamps, no cans, so I don't mind shooting these heavy bullets faster than subsonic velocities. And I recently acquired a Mossberg MVP N300 Blackout. It just so happens to take AR magazines. That's pretty neat. How about that? So, I was thinking I should start loading up some of these different projectiles I've got around and just be playing with the Blackout more often than I have been recently. How's the audio tonight, guys? I know I'm still using this webcam from 2008, and it's just got the built-in microphone. Let me know how that's working out. I know yesterday, the further we went into the stream, the more out of sync the audio and video became. So let me know how that's going. I don't know if it's working while we're live, and then the video posted after that YouTube does. I don't know if it gets out of sync somewhere there. But anyways, yeah, what would you guys like to use? Like I said, we've got the 4227, that's the accuracy load. It lists 12.7 grains, 1300 feet per second. And my other option, like I said, is VV N110. I have this really weird 2-pound bottle, or 1 kilogram, approximately 2 pounds. I don't know the actual conversion, but I was told it was 2 pounds. Let's actually take a little look here at the little VV N110 sticks. I think I've used this very little before. I put some in the 450 Bushmaster. It is on the faster burning side of things for the Blackout, the Bushmaster, 350 Legend, all those style of cartridges. It's on the faster burning side of stuff. Where are we at here? Yeah, very small sticks here with the VV N110. And they're maybe a little bit larger than the 4227. Let me put that there for a second so we can dump her back in. Mr. William, how are you tonight, sir? Let's make sure not to get our powders mixed up, so I'm going to move this way to the other side before I get the 4227 out and make a dummy out of myself. And, you know, it's not the factory label, so to speak, but it says it right there, 4227, so that's how you know it's good. And these are really small flaky powders, or not flakes, really small sticks. Sounds good. Was that in reference to the audio that I was saying earlier? Thank you for letting me know. What's up, Mr. James? How are you doing? Sorry, it's hard to hold this and stare backwards at the computer to make sure I'm on screen with it. But yeah, it's also got a yellow tint to it, kind of a different little stick powder there. But the static doesn't affect them as much as little balls. Little balls. But it works in the Chargemaster and they don't jump out of the pan, so that's my major concern. Anyways, back to the data. N110, they max out at 1200 feet per second at 10.1 grains. Excuse me. So that's how you know it's a much faster burning powder. They hit their maximum pressure with a smaller charge weight. So faster burning, more pressure for a given charge. And then the 4227, they max out at 12.7, and that's what they list as the accuracy load, is actually the maximum load. And I don't know if that's actually like the maximum pressure, or if that's just as fast as they wanted to push it, or, you know, I'm not certain how they got the max. It's probably the pressure. But I'm thinking 4227 is looking mighty fine. I hope he makes it. I've never shot with it. I have actually used this before with 4227 data and other loads before, so I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Looks like 2400. You know, I didn't even look at the Alliant data, and I have maybe a half pound of 2400 laying around. And that's also a little stick, isn't it? Yeah. Well, so is anybody opposed to the 4227? What if it's not the max? It's probably as much as you can fit in the case physically. Because, you know, here's a little Blackout guy. And, you know, we've got a 220 grain Eggleston. Woo! It's actually like purple, but my potato camera makes it look like crap. Yeah, so our bullet is probably bigger, or as big as the case there, and it'll be seated probably to there. So under the bullet there, that's our remaining case capacity, and that's probably about 12.7 grains is what I'm thinking is all they could fit in the case. That's why it might be the maximum. Just want to make sure you say, oh, hey, I appreciate it. Yeah, I know, I'm not gonna like just try and stuff as much as I can in there just to see what happens. But they list it there as the accurate load, and it might be their maximum, but I'm going for it. We're just plinking, and technically lead bullets are easier to push down the barrel, so I should, in theory, have less pressure than if I were using a jacketed projectile. So there's my train of thought behind it. Is that enough? Enough room? Yeah, maybe. We're going to see, actually. What primers should we use? We've got a couple choices here. Let me see. We can do Remington 7.5. Let me see here. Yeah. Remington 7.5, CCI 450, or CCI 41. What primer shallst we use tonight? Yeah, these are nice looking bullets here. Little sample pack they sent. We've got black and white and this translucent purple and a really cool looking green color. No, hey, I appreciate you looking out. I appreciate it. Let me see, actually, I've got like 10 sources here, so let me see what they say about 4227, and we can actually hop on the Hodgdon website, take a look at that as well. So let me, okay, that was Sierra data. Let me throw him out of the way here real quick. Sorry, my space is a mess here. So here's Shooter's World data that doesn't help us. Hornady manual. So Hornady maxes out at 10 grains. No, sorry, 10.5 grains at 1200 feet per second. So Sierra is claiming that we can get 2 more grains in there if they're going to 12.7. Intriguing. What's your favorite, 45 or anything else? Because your favorite is 44. Are you talking about bullet diameter? Favorite cartridges to shoot? I'm currently a 30 caliber fanboy, and behind that a 6mm fanboy, and then I'm a 9mm fanboy. Okay, so Hornady says 10.5 is the max. That's probably where it starts getting compressed or something. We'll have to see. Shooter's World data does not help us, but let's pull up Hodgdon real quick. Hodgdon reloading. There we go. Yes, accept cookies. Delicious cook. No, I don't want your reference data. I want the reloading data center, please. I really hate, since they updated this about 6 months ago, you used to be able to pick several powders. Come on, go to rifle. You used to be able to pick several powders at a time, and now if you highlight a powder, every other option goes away. Or rather, if you click any one option, it goes away. So if we pick 300 Blackout, all the other cartridges go away, which that's not a big deal. And then if, say, I wanted to see only data for the powders that I had, and I wanted to check 1680 and then keep going down the list of powders I have, I can't do that because the freaking list disappears. So you have to make multiple queries to figure out what the heck you're doing. So anyways, 300 Blackout, 4227, 220 grains. Let's see where Hodgdon maxes out. And I know you guys can't see this screen. Sorry. They're not very helpful because they stop at the supersonic threshold, right at 1050 with, depending on the bullet, either 9 grains or 10.1 grains. Wow, that's like totally a big difference. Use the Hornady as max. What was that, 10.5? And then if Hodgdon just said 10 is on the higher end for a 10.1, These datas are so conflicting because 10 grains, they're listing 26,700 PSI, and the Blackout is rated to 55,000, I believe. If not, even if it's only 50, we're like halfway there. So with 10.1 grains, only getting 26,700 PSI, 10.5 grains is probably not going to max that out by gaining another 25,000 PSI in pressure at the same time, right? But it is red right here. Like, see how it's red? That means it's maximum, use with caution. So that's what they say. Yeah, screw it. Let's just pick 10.5. How does that sound? Stinking. This laptop is strange. I think my little touchy pad gets a little sticky, or it's got some lubricant stuck on there from yesterday when I was touching it with my gloves on. Okay, yeah, we're going to call that 10.5 grains. Let me write that down. It'll also be fun to run these over the chronograph and see who was closer. Where are we at? 4227 with a 220 grain, 10.5 grain max. Exclamation mark, underline. Cool. Heck yeah. All right, well, let me put this other powder away. Even though I like this bottle, that's like their vintage. Uh-oh, there goes the manual. We got the vintage logo on there. I do need to use this more. People are very fond of their Vitivori powders. But I have limited experience with such. All right. Where are we at here? We need to get some powder up in the old Charge Master and get this other data out of the way. Oh, sorry. Did anybody recommend a primer? CCI 450, CCI 41, or Remington 7.5? I kind of don't want to use the 41s though, because they're expensive to replace, and for my more serious loads, you know. You see here, we got 450s. Or, I don't want to open up a brick. Where's it at? Come on now. Can't get in there. Come on. I wish I could open this box up. I don't want to tear it. Jesus. Sorry. Never had such a struggle with a piece of cardboard before. Here we go. Little bitty Remington 7.5. I think Remingtons are my new favorites just because of the packaging. A non-Magnum would be your pick. Well, good thing that's all I have, because these are well, they say bench rest, so I don't know if that means more closely monitored quality of ignition, consistency, or like, is it hotter? Are they harder? I don't know. But these Magnums are definitely harder and potentially hotter as well. And I don't know if the 41s are a Magnum or if they're just really hard to avoid slam fires from your NATO bolts flapping around with firing pins and whatever. Yeah, here we go. Look at that. Let's go back in time. Look at the price on that. I don't mean to brag, but wow. $625. Wish I could get them for that these days, right? I'm leaning towards these Remingtons because they are, I mean, I don't know if they're not a Magnum, but these definitely are, and these might be. So, all opposed? All aboard? Anybody have any other thoughts on our primer selection here? Okay, yeah, I'm doing it. Okay, let's get all this other crap out of the way you can't even see, but I still need access to it at some point. Okay, we got the Charge Master nice and leveled. No, YouTube, this is not illegal anywhere, especially where I'm at, so you can suck it. You can't even see what I'm doing, so I'm not doing anything. Also, be sure to make sure that your Charge Master pour spout is closed before filling it with a pound of powder. Pro tip that you only, it only takes once to learn that one. Ooh, buddy, that can be expensive depending on your powder of choice. All right, let's, we gotta get our primers filled. And I gotta make a dummy round to see if they fit in the magazine. What else do we gotta do? I've got this set up to give a slight mouth flare so that we don't scrape any of our coating. I have the powder funnel charging die there. I'll need to adjust my seating die, so let's back that way out there. And I have the factory crimp die that I was using on a jacketed projectile. So now if I put a larger diameter lead bullet in there, it's going to be squeezed harder. Does that make sense? So I'm also going to have to back him out and restart that. Never used Vivori or 7.5 primers. Me neither. Well, I haven't used the N110 for Blackout. And I've only used these Remingtons in 223 previously. So, we're all new to this one. This is new. Okay, let me leave that there so I know what I'm playing with. And I can verify my charges there if I want to. So let's just see if the charge master here can give me a good solid 10.5 grains. And I'm gonna have to figure out or remember how to change it to automatic. So when I put the pan back on, it just starts dumping automatically. Pretty cool feature instead of having to remember to push the start button every time. So let's get that going. I gotta get these primers filled up so that we can check our case fill. And before that, I should probably make the dummy rounds so I know where that's going to be seated before I have a case full of powder flopping around randomly. Know what I'm saying? I get one. Boink. So, did anybody do anything fun this weekend? Got any plans tomorrow? I know yesterday some of you said you were going to be going to the range today, but it's been crappy and rainy here all day Friday and all day today. And tomorrow should be a little better. It'll be about 85, and it says only a 20% chance, but those are like scattered hardcore thunderstorms or something spooky, so I don't know. Maybe we'll get out, do some shooting. But I've got some other crap to take care of around here. Yeah, these primers look interesting. They have a matching brass colored anvil. It's kind of an interesting combination there, if you've never seen them. It's like a yellow compound, brass cup, and brass anvils, so it all looks like the exact same kind of. A little weird, but whatever works. So yeah, does anybody know what the bench rest means on number 7.5 bench rest primer? Are they supposed to be more consistent or harder and rated for potentially like a higher pressure or something? I don't know. I forget whose channel it was, but somebody was talking about bench rest primers having a higher, pressure capacity before you can pierce them or whatever, because all the competitors and bench resty guys or whatever, they're just pushing it to the max, or I don't know, whatever. Long story short, someone said bench rests are harder. There we go. Anybody ever done a single stage Dylan turret before? I do it every once in a while. It's cool for load development because I can just, do them one at a time or have them in a row and just make sure I know what powder charge I'm on. Let's get him in there. Oop. Get him in there. Okay, before we start playing with powder and the primers, let's make us a dummy round. BR means more QC, that's it. That makes sense. Stricter quality control. Mr. Crash, good to see you as well, sir. Yeah, so we got a nice slight bell on the case mouth. Probably can't even see. I guess I can dump my bullets out over here. Oh yeah. Doing some Blackout. Yes sir, that's right. That's what we were talking about yesterday. I told you I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of Blackout. That pen doesn't go there. What were we saying here? Demonstrating the case mouth flare for your cast bullets. Whoop. So yeah, this won't be scratching our lead. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, a little bit of case flyer there, so you're not going to scratch your coating, and you're good to go. If you guys are unfamiliar with lead or whatever, you have to flare your case mouth for rifle stuff. Mr. Neil, welcome back, sir. Okay, I'm going to start with this way out here. Those bullets are excellent. They're one of your main 300 Blackout sub-projectile. Well, dude, you should have been here like 2 minutes ago when I was talking about load data and all this. So, what's your overall length? What fits in the magazine before I fumble around with the dummy round here? And then what powder do you use? Today we're using 4227, and I'm not even loading subsonic. We're gonna go for whatever the max load Hornady said was, which might be 1200 or something. So yeah, this looks a lot like the Lee 230 grain, and it has this band. Right? Yeah, it's got this band right at the top. And on the Lee, that's the only little bit of bearing surface. And I think one of my issues trying to get that to stabilize was I was seating it to this driving band and then crimping around it. So my only surface area that was contacting the barrel had been squeezed down to a smaller diameter than the 309. But this bullet looks like it has a section here and here. So it's got a little more surface area, as well as all of these lube grooves, those little bands in there. Interesting design. So do I, yeah, is that our maximum, or is that where we seat them? I'll probably have to start there and measure it and see if it fits in a magazine, right? That's what somebody that weren't a dummy would do. So we got our seating stem backed way, way out. A little more. Uh-oh, what's falling? What was that? I don't know, man. Something fell somewhere. Ooh, where are we at here? Need to go about a little further there. 2.08, a 9.5. Oh, nice. 9.5 grains. I'm going to be at 10.5, which is probably like 1100 feet per second. So yeah, that's definitely too big at 2.265. Just over mag length though, so if I can get to that band, that should fit in the gun. But you're saying 208, which is above the band. Okay. I'm going for it. Cool. Thank you, sir. Good deal. That saved me some headache. Or at least the trial and error of you guys sitting here watching me fumble around with it. And you should probably use, you know, a couple different bullets as you're setting it up, but I'm going to have a dummy round, so I might have to dial it in when I'm actually loading. But this one will be just an example to use for later purposes or to get my seating die set up quicker next time. Are we there yet? Give a quick measurement. 2.107. We're getting close. Whoop. That might have been too much. What barrel length were you using there, Mr. Neil? 2.09. Oh, I can barely see it. There's just the smallest amount of that driving band left. So that's going to be the next 10 thousandths I need. Beep. Cool. .082. I'm going to just call that good. because I don't want to keep screwing up my only bullet there. And we can do a quick CBTO. All right. Roughly 1.499, 1.50, somewhere right there. I don't want to push too hard because you can shove it in as far as you want, but yeah, the coating's a little sticky there, but I'm going to call my CBTO 1499. You've got a 9-inch AR. Nice. The real question is, does it plunk? Sir, once I hit this crimp, we will be plunking. That's the usefulness of a case gauge. And this is the Lyman headspace and case length gauge and all that stuff. So it tells you if your headspace is good, it tells you if your trim length is good, and it's also an ammo checker. So I backed my crimp out there. Now we have to crimp back the case mouth that we flared out. So that's out of there. All right. Okay, there we go. That's probably not enough crimp just yet. Ooh. I can feel it getting caught on the, see that last little bit where it ka-chunks? Watch this, like a 1/16 of a turn and we'll be good. Beep. There we go. There we go. And it might be good. I'll call this good for my dummy round, but I'll dial in the seating depth just a few thousandths, as well as maybe come in on that crimp just a hair. Whoa, good catch. If I don't say so myself though, this looks like a nice, mighty fine round here, fellers. Cool. Yeah, I need to write down my OAL, 2.08 inches. And sweet. So yeah, I'm going to be testing with a 16-inch bolt gun, and then I've got a 16-inch AR and a 10.5-inch AR as well. So I'll have to get the data, or at least run a few over the chronograph and see how that works. Yum yum. Delicious Powerades. A good crimp is key. Sir, you are absolutely correct. I'm probably going to have to come in a little bit. You know, I'm just going to blindly do it. And then I have to get the lock ring adjusted. Once I have a case held down, then I can hit the lock ring there so I know that I'm not turning the die any further. So, what's next? We need to check our case fill. So most of these are probably Lake City. Otherwise, it's all mixed based off of that list of useful brass on the 300 Black Talk forum. There we go. And I've been having, okay, obviously it's affecting how it runs, but not super problematic. But I've been having to kind of align the case when I go to prime, because sometimes it's not perfectly over the cup here holding the primer underneath. But to fix that, you can take this spring out here and you can adjust this and the tension of all of this here holding it in. I have adjusted all of that. I've adjusted the spring and cup and everything there, and the stop as far as letting it go as far as it moves or shortening that. I've tried all these things, but it still gives me that slight issue where I kind of have to center it perfectly to prime. Has anybody experienced that? Did you say you're going to 11.5? No sir, 10.5. That is Hornady's maximum. And Hodgdon listed 10.1 was 1050. So 10.5 from the Hornady book says that's 1200 feet per second. That's cool with me if we are at a supersonic load there. So let's make sure we've got our powder through die set up. Loosen him a bit so we don't squish the case. All right, there we go. And charge master seemed to have drifted a bit, so I will get this to redump my 10.5 grains. And how are you this evening, Mr. Tactical Rabbit? Good to see you again. Gun poll, I'd like to ask everyone who checks their case volume, do you test before and after sizing? I started doing both when I noticed pressure issues well under minimum charges with 300. Huh. You know, I have never measured any case volume ever, to be honest. But I would imagine you would want to measure it after it's been fired. Know what I'm saying? All right, let's make sure that our powder dye didn't spill anything. Very nice. Yeah, that's probably about as much as we're going to get into that case. Yeah, you can't see it. Maybe with the help of a high-powered laser beam light. Focus. Nope, not going to work today. I guess after sizing would make more sense because that's the volume you're going to be using to reload it with. Durr. Sorry, that makes sense. Disregard my misinformation. Mr. All Things Considered, how are you this evening, sir? Crap, I gotta put that back on auto. Never tried 4227. Does it run in autos? Yes, sir, it does. I have used it for my 155 grain load. I think I ran 16.5 grains, but I went down to 14.5. All right, I did testing. Those were the two groups. I picked the lower charge to save on powder. How about that? Ooh, man, I gotta show off some of these purdy Egglestons here. The one on the far right is actually purple, but my lighting is really bad here, and the camera is really bad. So we've got kind of a hunter green, or like a John Deere green, white, black, and translucent purple. Use a bench-mounted primer from RCBS as a... Okay. I really want a bench-mounted primer for everything I do on the single stage. Although, I do love the Lee Ram Prime. I would maybe enjoy one sitting around somewhere else, you know. Focus camera, we're down here now. There we go. You've got boatloads of 4227. Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, this is my 4227. It doesn't have the factory label, but I've used it with that data before, and it seems to work, and it looks like 4227, so I'm rolling with it. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can seat this one. And I'm going to see what it's seated at without adjusting it at all. And we're still going to have to come down a little bit, I do believe. All right. 2086. Yeah, we're going to come down just a hair. Beep. And I'll have to lock that down as well. Okay. Okay. 2081. You know, I'm going to call that good, but look at that. I don't think these are powder coated. I think it's a high-tech coating. But it's kind of getting distorted when they're getting seated. And I'm pretty sure that's compressed. I don't hear any movement at all. So, yeah, we're probably compressed right there. There's no room. That's probably your maximum load there. I don't know how they got 2 more grains in it over at Sierra. That's crazy. And time for the crimp. So I was going to come down just a hair. And then we'll tighten our lock ring. And we'll pull him out. Oh yeah. Beautiful. Oh yeah, right in and right out. It spins freely, so it's not catching anywhere. Our diameter of our neck is good. Oh yeah, do they fit in the mag? Yeah, and we're pretty short too, but we got all these other dummies here, so I'm gonna load 9, and then my 10th one will be right there to see if it works. I don't think this one's gonna fit though, because I use the overall length gauge here in the bolt gun, and we're at like 2.3 something with this 110 grain VMAX. No, 2.292. So that's way over mag length. Can't use him. And then these two, these are 168 grain and 175 grain Match Kings. I seated those out as far as they could go as well. And they're like 2.3 or something silly. So I kind of want to make some 2.29, yeah. Yeah, those are pretty big. But that's only at 168 grain, so it stops right about there. Whereas like the 220s go way in there, way deep. Anyways, those are stupid things I was just playing with to see how far it could seat out in the bolt action. So maybe someday I'll see how much powder I can smash into those and see how quick we can move at 168. I think Hornady says 1850. So that could be fun, right? It's got a hollow point, so that could do stuff. Anyways, those dummies we can't use. Yeah, here's the Lee bullets. One at the short seating depth and one at the longer seating depth over that band I was talking about. I think those fit in here. Oop. Come on. I'm a professional, I swear. I got jammed. What a dummy. Oh, looks like that round's good to go. You check it in your chamber too. You know, I should probably do that. Let me, yeah, that one's way out there. Shove all these other dummies in here just to take up mag space. I'm with Neil Chamber, check. Oh yeah. I guess I should have put that one at the bottom so it actually interferes with the rib, but that looks like we're good to me. No, YouTube, this is not a gun. I'm not handling any firearms here. I don't know what you're talking about. Definitely don't have one over here to try this dummy round in, so don't bother with whatever you're hearing now. Oh yeah, so smooth. But that is not a firearm at all on a live stream. So don't you worry, YouTube overlords. We are well within regulations here. Yeah, sweet, that works. And that's the actual loaded round here. Those Lee bullets, what's the OAL of those loaded rounds? Let me pull them out now. So we've got a Lee, that's the 312 185. Lyman, what is it, 311332, 185 grain, I think. Someone sent this. It is an M&P 150 hollow point. That's pretty sweet. I didn't actually shoot any of them though. I just made the dummy. Oh God. That's the other, no, that's my Lee 312155. Here we are. Here's the heavy leads. So the short OAL over the driving band I was talking about, 2.145. And then the longer one with the exposed driving band, can't really see it, is 2.255. So, yeah, where's that? This one's way shorter. Over the band, under the band. And then, yeah, what did we say our CBTO was on our final loaded round here? 1.499. That feels sticky. Also, the coating of the different colors are probably different thicknesses. So CBTO with coated bullets is definitely not going to be consistent. Yeah, make sure we zero. Let's try the green one. 1.499-ish. Yeah, we'll go down there. And then the white one, yeah, that's almost 25 thousandths longer due to the coating color, I think so. You run a 225 with the cast Lee. I think I tried either and I just kept having issues with the, it just wouldn't stabilize. But the bolt action is a 1 in 7 twist, so I think that should have better luck than the 1 in 8 ARs that I tried that in, right? Does that make sense? Faster twists should do more better. So I've got some of those we can try. But anyways, our loaded round here looks good. It fits in the magazine, it fits in the chamber. So we can get to loading here. Oh yeah, it was nice and smooth. Lake City cases, And let me figure out how to turn this mode auto. Nope. Auto. Where's the yes button? No. Auto. Sound. No. Blue. Auto. Sorry guys, let me figure this guy out. What the hell? Come on. Mode. Manual. What the heck? Do I really need to get out my stinking learning book here? I feel like a real life dummy now. Does anybody have a Charge Master and know how to turn it on automatic? Wait, I think I have to... Ha! There we go. See, I had to put tape over my buttons because the ball powders were falling into it and they were sticking, and that was causing all kinds of annoying issues. So I have tape over the button I'm supposed to hit, so I didn't see the button I needed to hit. Anyways, we're now on auto. Let me actually calibrate. Do all these proper things you're supposed to do. 0. Calibrate. 0. 50. 100. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. 100 grams. Yay. Should have put the stinking cover on the pour spout because now I'm spilling powder and I gotta get the little cute brush and get rid of these flakes that are gonna fall down into the buttons. I'm a professional, guys, I swear. I know what I'm doing. Okay, now we're on automatic, and we should be able to get 10.5 grains every single time. Every time I set the pan down, it'll start dumping for me. Sorry, that was fun, right? Okay. Let me get some gloves now that I've already got my hands dirtied. Your 6.5 Grendel has a short throat, and you have to run 20 thousandths shorter than book length. Half MOA gun. Interesting. Is that for jacketed stuff too? Obviously, that's what you're saying. Cool. Go up here. Slam dunk. As soon as I put that back and it stabilizes, it'll pour another. Now I can place the bullet. Stick my brass in. And now that is ready to go. Sweet. So, was it you, Mr. Crash, saying you loaded some 9mm to shoot today, or were you going to shoot on Sunday? And it never hurts. I might be on a progressive, but it never hurts to check your primers being seated flush, to check your overall length, to check your powder every once in a while. But I'm going to come down just a hair there. I needed to add powder, didn't I? Did I already do that? Geez, I was about to dump that in there again. I start talking about other crap and essentially forget where I'm at. So like I was saying, it's always good to check everything. I'm going to try to do all of each color at once. So I just did green last. I'm going to try and do all these green ones and see if they feel different being loaded or anything like that. Ooh. Yeah, so I just came down a hair on my mouth flare. Those last few felt a little bit of tension going in. So I want to make sure I'm not scratching anything. Yes, sir, shot about 300 rounds today. It was hot. Just couldn't miss. Really successful training day. Heck yeah, dude, that's freaking awesome. Ash freaking sweet. All right, green bullet. What part of the woods are you from? It was about 80 degrees here today in Tennessee. But it rained all day, so super humid. Okay, so this next bullet should feel a little bit easier to seat since I adjusted my case mouth. It takes a few turns to make it around there and actually realize the changes you made. Got an arms core piece of brass there. Okay, and we'll just randomly check these last few that came out and see how we're looking at the overall length. 2.8 or 2.08 exactly. Also note, when we set it up, I only had the one case here, so there were 3 open stations. Now that we have 4 stations being used, there's a case head on each part of the shell plate, so it can't tilt or wobble at all. So that usually, what I notice is brings my overall length down 1,000th or 2, depending on my bullet. So that's just something to look out for. So if you think you're, set with the single piece and then you go start loading all stages loaded, they're going to be just barely shorter. Okay, I don't think I dumped powder yet, but again, I started talking. Gotta make sure. We've got a Minnesotan. We have a fine gentleman from Minnesota. How about that? I've been to Minnesota, I think. Sounds like a place I've heard on a map I've seen before, at least. All right. You load CFE pistol behind 115 grain poles with mixed brass. That's right. You were talking about. What was that place called? Disabled veterans, super discount stuff or something. I don't know, man. Lake City. I keep getting distracted. Okay, we still need powder. Good to know. You guys got to keep me paying attention because I could miss the powder. That wouldn't be good. Okay, powder, bullet. Good to go. And did I just already see the primer? I'm trying, okay. Man, pay attention, dummy. This internet stuff is distracting. Mr. T-Raker 30-06. What the heck? Thank you, sir. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Unfortunately, I was educated in American public schools, so I don't know what currency that is, but that's freaking awesome. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Combat disabled veteran surplus. Okay. There's good guys over there behind enemy lines in Washington. Oh, that sucks for them, but good for them. It takes. Yeah, I would not like to live in one of those fun geographic locations with restrictions. If you know what I'm saying. Japanese yen. Well, holy crap, that's freaking awesome. Welcome from Japan. That's sweet. Thanks again, sir. That's freaking awesome. What are you doing, Charge Master? It says 0. What are you doing, Charge Master? Huh. It just says -0. That's interesting. 10.5. Okay, very interesting. It's late for you guys on the Eastern and Central time zones. Yeah, I don't know why I've been up lately. I was up super late yesterday on here with y'alls, and then I slept all day like a bum because it was crappy and raining. Got up, ran some errands, went to the grocery store, got some pork chops, and now I was talking again. I got to make sure I didn't dump powder, which I already did, so good thing I'm moving because we would have just double charged it. There we go. Yeah, I picked up some fruit and veggies and some pork chops for tomorrow on the grill, hopefully, if it's not raining. And yeah, now we're here today. Back at it again, being out late. You got a wild hair up your ass. So I clean around the house, big procrastinator. Yeah, I did a lot of that yesterday. Did a lot of that cleaning and, house chore stuff yesterday. Water. I'm gonna come down just another hair. Oh yeah. Because I'm not afraid of a little extra case mouth flare since we're just crimping those back. Shouldn't be anything to worry about. However, you might get 1 or 2 less firings if they start to crack early or something like that. But whatever, there's an infinite amount of 223 brass to turn into 300 blackout cases. So I'm not worried if I lose a few a little early if it makes for a smoother reloading experience. Man, pay attention. I hope I put powder here. Freaking idiot. I need to come up with a system because I'm not used to doing the powder separately. I normally have an actual powder measure, like one of these going. So I have to remember. Gotta remember powder, folks. What an idiot. And we already have a primer too. I think. Yes, we have a primer. I might as well just keep this one out since I have to check it every stinking time. Okay. Everything's good, folks. We just need to focus. You know, because it's 2 a.m. Okay, now we're going to come up and get some powder. Ooh, why does that feel so hard to... Look at me dumping powder. First try. Boom. Okay. Automatically starts with more powder. Heck yeah. So what I should do is focus on this. Don't stare at the computer screen until I get my new case in, a new bullet seated here, and then if I know the handle is in the upward position that I need powder. That's my new mental cue. Hey, it's up here waiting for powder. Sorry, I am a real life dummy, so I have to do these silly little mental gymnastics to adopt a routine, apparently. So now that we're here, I'm going to focus, turn my case, insert a bullet here, and move to the upward position. Now we need powder. Haha. And there we go. Perfect. Whoa. This chat thing's weird, man. I just had a bunch of messages show up over here, but not here. And sorry. Wyoming Black Hills near Mount Rushmore. It's 12:43. I have been through there. It's freaking beautiful. And if you've never, not you specifically, but if any of you other guys have not been to Mount Rushmore, it's way smaller than they make it look on TV. Know what I'm saying? It's like little bitty rocks. I mean, it's an entire mountainside, but it doesn't seem like the faces are 4 miles tall or something. Okay. We have powder. There we are. Yeah, does anybody have a 550 and have that slight issue I was talking about with the priming system? Anyways, focus, dummy. I'll never double charge with 4227 because the bullet won't fully seat. So I'm not worried about a double charge, I'm worried about not charging. But yeah, if I doubled that to what, 21 grains in one case, That would be a full case. It would probably overflow. And I would definitely not be able to get a bullet in there. I don't know if the lighting will allow me, but the case fill. Maybe you can see that. But yeah, it's probably already compressed, so there's no way we could get a double charge. Ooh, that case feels like it's short, and it's going to scrape some of this here projectile. We'll see here. We'll see it. Actually, that one felt smoother than all the others so far. Weird how that works. We're down. Focus. We're up. We need powder. Perfect. Your Hornady press has 5 stations, which allows for a powder check die. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That would make sense. See, if I were using my seating die to crimp at the same time, which I don't like, I advise against that. Due to variances in your case length, the taper crimp will start crimping a longer case sooner, and a shorter case won't get crimped at all. So I always run a crimp on a separate stage. So unfortunately, I'm unable to run a powder check die. However, if I was on doing 223 or something, I get powder here, and then I can put a powder check die at 3, and then 4 could be seat, because I don't need to expand or crimp those. So that could be an option here. Make sure we did the thing. Keep getting distracted like a little 12-year-old. But I'd rather check it 18 times and make sure again and again. But if you were at the observation point, we're over 1,000 yards away. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yep, that's exactly where I was. Yep. Yep. Okay, and we're up. We need powder. And down. There we go. Yeah, and so for the record, I haven't seen a single stick of 4227 jump out of this pan yet. So that's definitely a plus for me, because I really hate ball powders falling into my buttons, getting stuck. Ooh. I think I saw a question earlier, what diameter am I sizing to? I'm not sizing any of these, but Eggleston claims they are at 309. And they said they were 200 grains, but I weighed them and they're definitely like 218 or so. So they should have said that they are the 220s. But anyways, they are at 309. Definitely 309. Yep. Yep, yep. And we're up. Do I need powder? Freaking moron. Definitely need powder in that guy. Powder check is definitely a good investment if your press can allow for it. And we got a couple green ones left. What's our next color gonna be, folks? We've got whites and blacks and purples. What is AP? Who makes AP brass? AP 13556. I hope this one works. I've never seen it. AP 556. Does anybody know what head stamp that is? Okay, up means powder. See me, I was about to move the handle. My apologies. Aguila. Yep. Purple has to be more accurate. Sir, I think you might be onto something. Maybe that's what we can test when we take these to the range. You know, we'll get a velocity between the different barrel lengths, and then I'm shooting for groups by color. Groups by color. Has anybody tested that with powder coating yet? That would be funny. Oh yes, the Ford dark blue is more accurate than the Ford light blue. Wouldn't that be funny? Now there are definitely some powders that are better than others, but I've not noticed anybody talking about the colors affecting it. Gotta double check again. Where'd my primer go? Did that really just fall in there, or did I not get it? Watch this. Let's see a loose primer pocket. Where's the hole at? Oh my god. I didn't even have to like push at all. I could probably, look at that. Wow. We're gonna toss this piece of brass. Boop. And that was a piece of Barnes head stamp, 300 Blackout. Look at that ejector swipe from whatever load they had going on at the factory. Yeah, sorry, potato camera. Doesn't even work. Okay, I'm gonna put this primer back there. And we have powder, so I'll just try a new piece of brass. Hey, look, Lake City. I bet you that one works. Okay. AP is likely arms core. I think AUSA is arms core, but AP very likely could be as well. But I've seen a lot of AUSA. I know that those are arms core. I keep forgetting that thing has an auto mode. That's very handy. Ooh. Oh yeah, I gotta go back up and read about what you said about the 458. Based on all things considered, asking, how do you like your SOCOM? 4227 makes for a soft shooter. Where are we at here? Where are we at here? I missed something, obviously. Tested some 405 grain supers. Was that the Lee mold 405? I've shot some of those in the Bushmaster. They're not quite as good as the 340 grainer. I think because they're getting too far in the case, that's where the case starts to get thicker. It's a straight wall, so it's starting to deform my bullet. So I think that's my issue with the 405 and the Bushmaster, sized at 452. But the 340s are great. Here in Tucson in the noon sun, I bet that was 100 degrees. Yeah, that was really hot. You got ran over by a dust devil? Shoot, brother, watch out. Came right for you. Eggleston has 200 and 220 grain projectiles. The 200 grain bullets have a more round nose, and the 220s are more of a spitzer. That's good to know. It's been a minute since I was on their website. But yeah, I figured they offered, obviously, a 200 grainer. I just didn't end up getting it. I got me some 220s, which is cool. Dang, that one felt super loose too. You know it's bad if you can feel it through a press. Well, I don't want to push too hard, but it's staying in there. Whatever. We're going to send it, but I am going to note loose in bright red Sharpie. Loose. You have 4 458 SOCOM rifles. That's freaking awesome. Started reloading because of it. Generally run subs, but supers are fun and accurate as well. Yeah, that would be a really fun one to run with subs. I've always, like way back in the day, you know, the taco videos, he's shooting his 600 grain nukes or whatever he calls them. Those look fun. I checked this a third time. Yeah, see, no powder there. I would have missed it. Freaking moron. Sorry, guys. Must be past my normal bedtime or something. Do you have a bolt action, or are they all ARs? Okay, that's the loose primer. We're good. This is the last green one, and Mr. James said purple is next. There's another Aguila with some walnuts stuck in there. Okay. Love matching the original 4570 loads. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. It's basically a semi-auto 4570. Which is pretty awesome. You were shooting Missouri Bullet Company's Buffalo 1 bullets. I've never shot any Missouri bullets before. I've heard they're nice. Okay, purple projectiles are next. Rock River Arms 16-inch for supers. Rock River Arms 12 for subs. You run the 16 with the muzzle brake and the 12 with the can. Nice! Do you have one of those huge tank brakes, big sucker, and that'd be fun. That would be fun. Yeah. My Bushmasters are both in ARs as well. I think I would like it more in a bolt action because of the straight wall stuff, you know? Ooh. It's just not as forgiving to reload stupid cast loads because it doesn't have a shoulder to index off of. It's indexing off of the case mouth, so you have to worry about your crimp and all kinds of other crap compared to if it has a shoulder like the old Blackout here. Do it again. Did I already put one in? I sure did. You think I would be better at this by now, but... Oh. Up means powder. From Rushmore to the Visitor Center, 0.3 miles. Miles, what, 1740 yards? 5,280 feet? I don't know if that's how many yards. I forget, but I know it's 5,280 feet. And a third of that, yeah, that's probably why they look so small from where I was standing. That would make sense, right? And then you get to see them through binoculars and, you know, the little stations they have set up. So that was fun. Ooh, need some bolt guns and lever guns in my life? That's what I've been thinking. Like, I have several AR uppers. And they're all fun, and they all have a different purpose or fill a different role or whatever. Ooh. But there's something about running a bolt gun, you know? Something about running a bolt gun. I'm really bad at this, Jesus. Yeah, there's something about running a bolt gun, and you don't have to worry about, you know, you can single feed if you want. So you're not constrained by your mag length and so on and so forth. Do not have the 450 BM, but you do have 350 Legend and the headspace from the, yep, definitely a different speed in AR compared to shoulder. Yeah, I kind of, I don't want to say I've given up on the 350 Legend, but in an AR platform, I have certainly given up on the 350 Legend. But I definitely at one point in time would like to get like a Ruger American Ranch or something that still takes AR mags, and I would love to get back into the 350 Legend, but right now it doesn't serve the purpose I thought it would, being a cast lead plinker, kind of how I have been running the Bushmaster, you know? You know? 350 Legend brass gets beat pretty bad. Does 450 have the same problem? So from my experience, no. The Bushmaster has been a lot smoother. The case mouth is slightly rebated from the rest of the body. I don't know if that has anything to do with how it ejects and feeds and stuff, but the case, not the case mouth, sorry, the case head is recessed, rebated, whatever they say. So I think that might help it compared to the Legend, which is, it's not perfectly straight, it's slightly tapered, but the size and the bolt and how it extracts and all that stuff, I think makes it a little more finicky than the old Bushmaster. Does that make any sense? I probably just said a bunch of word salad that didn't go anywhere. But the Legend seems to have feeding issues compared to the Bushmaster. It also seems like the brass is getting pinched at around a third down from the case mouth. Yeah, I think that's right where it's like hitting the feed ramp, and then there's no shoulder, so then it's still flying straight up, and then the tip of the bullet is like hitting the top of the chamber or the rifling, And then this part of the case is still dragging up the ramp before it makes this little jump into the chamber. So I think it's going off the mag and up, and it goes tunk and scrapes there. So, you know, that's what I think is happening with the Legend in an AR magazine. Make a sense? Ooh, man, some of these are hard to get started in there. But I haven't seen any scrapage or anything. I guess I should check. Oh wow, I don't have a primer. I got a bunch of powder that, god dang it. So if I missed a primer somewhere, did I miss powder somewhere too? Or actually did this primer fall out, because I remember this case head being troublesome. I don't see a loose primer, so there's a bunch there. Wow. I'm a myth tonight, y'all. I can't keep my shit straight. Yeah, I don't see a primer that fell out, but I feel like this P&W case head, specifically that lot of brass, those were all very loose. But what I was gonna say was I need to plunk the purple ones, see if that matters at all. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, the ramp is chewing up 350 Legend brass. Sometimes miss powder. Miss primers and get powder all over the place. Luckily this is a stick powder, so but I'm hoping I didn't miss a primer and also miss powder in one of these at the same time. So that's pretty fun, right? I can see the powder in there, but they're little sticks, so luckily they're not going to fall out. And yeah, that's really compressed. That's like hard. Yeah, those are definitely compressed. That's probably why it feels like they're hard to seat. Okay. I'll just have to be cautious at the range, and like I said, I'm probably going to be using these in the bolt gun. So a squib load, you know, I'm not going to be mag dumping, so potentially if I have a squib sitting in there, I would notice it in the bolt gun before I sent another round behind it. Good times, right? Also, I found out I was on Rumble because someone yesterday asked if I was streaming to Rumble, and I was checking it to see why none of my YouTube videos for the past 8 months have synced onto Rumble like it used to. Apparently YouTube disabled that feature, so unless I want to manually upload everything to there separately, nothing's going to show up on Rumble anymore. So that's slightly irritating, because at one time it was working and then it stopped or whatever, and then it started working again. They started uploading and syncing, but they cut it off and totally broke it. So and yeah, what I'm gonna do right now is put these in a different baggie and say potential squib. So I don't have to worry about separating powder charges, but I will know that this baggie could potentially make an oopsie. Look at all this brass shavings and crap falling everywhere. What mile is 1760? Oh crap. I was close. Okay. So I need to label this though. Question mark? Squib? I don't know. Hell, send it. We'll just have to make sure to be careful and not blow ourselves up. And I need to somehow, remember I need to pull that one. Yeah. We can rewatch the video if you want to check. I can do that. But that takes like time and effort, and that might even help with my safety in the future, but I put them all over there, so potential explosive problems remain in that baggie. And this guy needs powder. See, if you just change one variable on me, I'm way out of it if you just throw one variable at me. All I have to do is take off my automatic powder measure and make me manually dump it. All bets are off the table here, brother. Ugh. That's why they probably say to pay attention when you're reloading. Right? Okay, seeded a primer, poured some powder. Moving forward, I will be less of a dummy. Ugh. Gosh, that was tough to get started. You need some Food Line Ziploc bags in your life? I mean, they're handy. I keep a bag of Ziplocs there just to obviously keep things separated if I need to. And I just struggled to seat that, and I need powder. Okay. Brass can vary by 10 grains. You're absolutely right, and I wouldn't be surprised if even Blackout does, especially because they're mixed head stamps. Let's just measure these 5 real quick right here and see how much they vary. Here we have a Winchester. Let me get the let me get the media out of the flash holes so that doesn't throw us off. Okay. We have a Win USA 556 case. Settling down, 84.1. Now we have a PNW Arms. Uh, 85 grains. So what, 9/10 heavier? Here's a Lake City 18 556 converted, 83, so that's 2 grains lighter. We've got a Lake City 14. 84.5. That's right in the middle, but almost 1.5 grains heavier than the other piece of Lake City. And here we have WCC for Winchester Cartridge Company or something. Something like that. And that one is 85.3 grains. So, yeah, there's a couple grains of variance definitely in these cases. Definitely some variance there. Used to shop at the Food Line. Would you go to Virginia for business trips? Haha! Business trap. Sorry, that was an inside joke from many moons ago. Business trap. Oh boy. Sorry. What kind of business were you into at that time, sir? If you don't mind me asking. What kind of business trip was it? Eventually, for stage 1 here, instead of the Lee Universal Expander, I kind of want the Lyman M die, so it kind of opens up the entire diameter of the neck, as well as can bell the mouth. So you can essentially change your neck tension, right? You can also pay attention to whether or not we poured powder there already. Engineering meetings. I've heard of that word before, but it's that's pretty cool. Meeting with customers. What kind of engineering y'all into? At one time in my life, I was an audio engineer. When you tell people you're an engineer, but then you say audio in front of it, they're like, oh, well, that's not like a real, that's not a real engineer. You probably never know I did audio because all my audio always sounds like shh, but yes, at one point in my life, I was but an audio engineer. What primers did you say we are running? Today we are using the Remington 7.5s. Am I a musician? I own instruments, but to call me a musician would be an insult to musicians. But yeah, I've been in the music industry for probably 15 years. But yeah, I own instruments. I'm not a musician. I wouldn't dare take that away from someone that actually is. I guess it's like if I were to play for someone that's not a musician, they'd be like, wow, those 3 chords sounded like that song. But then a real musician would be like, yeah, but you're out of tune and you're flat and it sounds like dick and you're not in the right key. So, you know, I am not a musician, right? At least the sound matches what you're doing this time. Does it? That's good. I changed a couple settings, so hopefully that helped for now. Hopefully that helped for now. I do like that this bullet has a slight boat tail to it. That kind of helps with the feeding as well. Hello, fellow engineers. Room full of engineers here. Mechanical engineer. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, all that's way above my level of comprehension, though. Did I miss it? Of course I missed it. I'm gonna have another primer. Okay, and we're already primed. So I'm not about out of purple, but what bullets are we going to use next? We have black or white projectiles. Remington primers are small IMO. I think I've heard that before. But I do know that some of these came from some pretty gross, previously fired hot rounds, so the primer pockets could very well be blown out from that. Should post some music videos. I don't have any. I don't even have any recording software installed here at home. I had Pro Tools. Oh crap, I see the black one. It was supposed to be purple. Yeah, I had Pro Tools 8 or something many moons ago. And then they wanted me to pay them like $1,000 to upgrade. So I was like, screw that. And I got Reaper, which is free, but you can still use all the plugins. So that's pretty sweet. You second that? Do you want to hear my music? Are you guys into crappy heavy metal? Maybe someday. I have, at one point in my life, I wanted to pursue music and had several songs written and whatever and all the parts down, and I wanted to record, but never did that project, so maybe someday. Except all of my gear was stolen, so I never really got back to that point where I never had the same setup since then, so yeah, that was a little demoralizing. And I haven't really been into it as I once was. Broadcast engineer here, not nearly as fun as it sounds or as intense as a mechanical engineer. I can't read that line. But your work gets a lot on TV. That's freaking awesome, dude. Congrats, man. Would I see your name in the credits somewhere? You don't work for CNN or something like that broadcasting, do you? Wow. I don't know if any of you guys saw that, but I didn't have this all the way into the die, so I just dumped 10.5 grains of IMR 4227 all over the press. Oh man. Oh man. Shucks. Helicopter mechanic, truck driver, main battle tank operator, tire repair, woodworker, bus driver, farmer, a few other jobs I've done. That's freaking sweet. It's good to have multiple things on the on the resume there. Definitely a musician talking about recording and Pro Tools, key and tone, whatever else he said. Okay, well, let me clear this mess up. I got like half of the powder charge in there. Let's see. Let's weigh out how much made it in the case. Oh boy. We made approximately 2.7 grains of that 10.5 grain charge. Well, boys, if there's anything to learn, it's to not do anything I've done today. Don't follow any of these procedures, okay? Right? Don't follow anything I'm doing. It could potentially be catastrophic. Okay. Got some corn cob here. Okay. Again, another good thing about a stick powder, it's easier to clean up than them little balls. Okay. Reloading is hard. Okay. The handle is in the lowered position, which in turn raises the RAM into its final resting spot when paired up against the charging die here. So our case mouth is now sitting in line with our funnel to properly allow the powder to fall through into our case without spilling into our workspace. Cool, got it? Cool, here's some powder. It's the proper weight. As you see, the powder flows through the die and into the case. Very nice. Very nice. No credits. TechSide never gets proper credit. We're often hired guns, but came close to winning an Emmy a few years ago. That's pretty sweet, brother. Good deal. Good deal. And then since I lowered this without actually finishing the step, I now have to turn it after checking that it had powder. The biggest mistake was loading the black bullet instead of the purple bullet. The biggest mistake was loading the black bullet. Well, you know, I don't want to blame him entirely, but he's the only one over there with all those purples. But the purple does have its own problems, because we all know pimping ain't easy. Okay. Okay. I just put powder there, rotated, but I didn't finish the step that I was just saying that I needed to have finished. And yes, Sir James, it is difficult, especially since I am not used to manually dumping the powder on the progressive press. But that's a me problem. You guys can just sit there and enjoy the show. We don't have powder here. At least I caught that one. Do all those have to go into a separate squid bag as well? No, we caught it. We're good. Good thing we're like halfway done, right? Okay, now we have powder. Now I can put a bullet there. Onward! Are you manually dumping because it's extruded or for better consistency? Honestly, I had this set up when I was doing a little ladder charge with some H110 and those 110 grainers I was talking about, sorry. The black tips. So I was using it to weigh out the 5 charges, put those in a row, go to the next charge weight. But yeah, I should be using this powder measure here that does it automatically. So this is all my fault. I could have simply switched tool heads and that would have been pretty easy. But we just really need to pay attention. Just remember, if it's in the up position, we need powder. And if I'm going to move it down, I need to make sure to do all of the steps. Like, make sure our primer's seated. Wow, that one just did the old hot dog in a hallway trick. What? But it didn't come out. We're going to label this guy, though. Loose. Exclamation point on that guy. Okay. Boink. And once again, I said we had powder, but I didn't do the whole step because we were checking our primer out. So what color's next, black or white? I think we have to do black next because I already did one of them, right? Although I started with a white case, so I have one of each now. So realistically, they're both even. And we don't have to make a biased judgment on which color to use next. Ugh. Come on, primer. Did I already prime it? Am I this? No? I was just, maybe wasn't reamed properly. We got her in there though. Have we tried the Lee Auto Drum for extruded? I do not have a Lee Auto Drum, but I hear they're actually really great. And yeah, you can get the automatic setup. I guess that's why they call it the Auto Drum. The case activated action. And I could set that up here on my Dylan. That might be, actually that would be a much cheaper option than almost $200 for the Dylan setup. Wow. Okay. Probably not 200, maybe 150. I don't remember, it's been a while, and the Dylan pricing is crazy. Now on top of that, they give the, gosh dang it, the most insane shipping rates ever. Okay, and we're primed. Whoop. Oh yeah. That one felt tight too. Something jammed in there. No? They both happen to have been the Gila cases though. That's interesting. So are you guys going to the range tomorrow? Or you did all your shooting today? Hopefully the weather is nice tomorrow and I can get in a little trigger time. Maybe even get the old camera out. All right. Do I do the white ones or the black ones, or the black ones or the white ones? What's next? Hurt? Should I just randomly pick whatever's there? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Wait. Almost left a purple one behind. Can't leave the purple one. Ugh. Okay. 220 subs run at a lower pressure, so I think the primers will stay in. Had a lot of primer pockets when you switched from CCI to Remington. Huh. Interesting. I think I remember a video from Mr. Bench. He was talking about that. His Mark 262 series, I think. He had done, you know, several episodes in that series, and then finally got some Remington primers after using the CCIs. And I believe he mentioned they were also feeling looser. Or like they were, you know, slightly smaller. As for me, I can't say one way or the other. I usually just grab whatever's there, and right now I have the most of those. So that's probably why I'm gonna use those for a while. It would be kind of fun, perhaps, although I don't know if my 308 Winchester would stabilize these. It would be cool to make a few subsonic heavy 308 loads, maybe. Just for fun. Wow, that one felt loose. Well, he's staying in there. We'll let him slide. Okay. Yeah, see how easy this is when you just pay attention? It's probably not as entertaining though. Is the audio still synced up when I clap? Does it work? Is the audio still doing okay? Hopefully whatever I changed worked. As far as I understand, as long as you have a 1 in 10, long subs will stabilize in 30 cal. Okay, I think mine is a 1 in 11. It's whatever the M1A is. I think that's a 1 in 11 twist. Very list minimum of 1 in 10 and a half for their 220s. Huh. Interesting. So far, my only experience with heavy projectiles is the Lee 230 or whatever it is, and those would not stabilize with my 1 in 8 twist. So, I don't know. But the bolt action is a 1 in 7. So I'm hoping that it should not have any issues. Should be 10.5 or faster. Yeah, I don't know what I think. It likes 175s really well, which isn't necessarily heavy or long, but yeah, I don't know if the 220s would work. Might be something to play with in the future. Although I'll be out of these projectiles soon. I do have some of the Lees left, and I still have that mold. So if my bolt action likes it, then I'll have a reason to cast more, and then I'll be able to see if my 308 gun likes it. You guys, screw it, send it and see what happens. You know? Might as well. Because we can sit here and read the internet and look at 20-year-old forum posts and, you know, whatever all day long. But as we all know, everybody's rifle is different. So what could work in yours might not work in your neighbor's. Yeah, I'm not worried about them in the Blackout Neil, but in 308 Winchester with a 1 in 11 twist, could be questionable. We're all 30 cal snowflakes. Yes, sir, that's what I'm talking about. America. You know, I don't need any of them millimeter cartridges. Alright. It's not that I'm biased, it's just that what I've always been exposed to and what I've you know, been around. Never did any competing or high-speed cool guy stuff, so I've never been into like any of the PRS cartridges or super long range, or you know, I have like we said yesterday, we have standard basic bitch cartridges over here. We're pretty plain vanilla, not too exciting happening, but it works, dang it. Oh yes, sorry Neil. I should have known. Yeah, I'll definitely try some of these in the 308, but I wonder if I'll have to push them faster to get them to spin a little bit more, get the RPMs up or whatever, or if I can just, you know, put in like 5 grains of Trail Boss or something and go from there, make a little subsonic little bunny fart. I don't know, man. Probably like 4 grains of tight group or something. Ooh, we were talking about Arms Corps. AUSA. Ooh, but they might also make that AP head stamp we were talking about earlier. Okay, always got double check for powder. Jeez. I think these, I'm pretty sure these are high-tech coated. So do you guys know if high-tech is generally more stickier feeling than powder coating? Because I feel like these are having quite a time trying to get started. And I have sufficient flare on the case mouth. I don't. We don't have any scratching at all going on. But they're just hard to get started, even though they've got that nice boat tail or whatever. So I feel like they should seat nice and smoothly, but there's a little bit of friction. Is that normally a function of high-tech coating? I don't know. Oh, hey look, we did it, guys. We finally did it. Did any of you guys catch it? That's what a double charge looks like. We've done it all on this in this past 2 hours. We've both squibbed and